the headquarters was asking me about going on an icebreaker, and I thought that you ought to look for some other pilot who hadn't done isolated duty. Said I happened to be a pilot that did RAN duty. A lot of pilots didn't do the RAN duty. So I said, why don't you get a pilot who's not been away from their family for a year? Let them be the one that goes away for a year. I had this young guy, pilot. His name was Penn. Last name was Penn. He was fairly experienced. He didn't have quite as many hours in the HO3S. I probably had twice as many hours as he had, but he was a good HO3S pilot. He wanted to do this. And I said, I got the guy that could take my place. He's a good HO3 pilot. He's fairly experienced. And he's also married to the commandant's daughter. And if he says to his brother-in-law, I want this job, and they won't give it to me, he didn't have any trouble getting the job.
Wow.
I don't think.
And he wanted the job.
He wanted it. He wanted it in a worse way.
He didn't want Bermuda?
No, he wasn't going to go to Bermuda. They were sending me to Bermuda.
Yeah, right.
They were sending me because I had the most hours in the airplane. And I tried to tell them that doesn't have to be the only criteria. By the time he had flew the West Coast, he'd gotten 30 hours just flying there.
Yeah.
And that we know. Of course, he went across the mountains. It's pretty fun game. I would have loved doing that. But I didn't want to necessarily be away from the family anymore for another year. I would have loved going on an icebreaker. Let me tell you. That would have been I would have loved that. Because that would be a new environment, new fly-in. Going to the Antarctic and the Arctic, that would have been absolutely fabulous. But I had already spent a year away from my wife. And most aviators don't do that. So I thought it's other aviator's turn to do that.
Did you discuss that with Mom at all?
I told her I didn't know whether I could get out of this. But Bermuda was ideal. that was ideal. And then, of course,
another briar patch, huh?
Yeah. They put me in the briar patch. See, I didn't have any problem bucking against the system a little bit. That never has been one of my problems. If I felt something wasn't quite fair or even, this is why I thought this is more. Now somebody else had to go. I had a guy that wanted to go. What they felt was they didn't get the best guy. And that's assignment people probably have a certain goal of putting the best guy at the proper place. That is their job. You have all these places. We got needs for pilots. We got all these different pilots, different skills, different capabilities, different ranks, different backgrounds, whatever. They try to match up these. And I'm sure they, like everybody else, want to make the best match they can. And the Coast Guard wants them to do that anyway. I'm not saying I wasn't the right guy to pick.
How did the commandant's daughter like that?
I don't know whether she liked it at all. But it doesn't make any difference.
No.
That was his in-house family thing.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
He was in Kodiak.
Oh.
He was in Traverse City,
Michigan. So.
Yeah,
you were both there, and
we were both there. And then I got the orders, and I said I didn't want to go.
So you get your orders, and you say, icebreaker, and he says, I'd like to go.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Wow.
And I said, well, we may be able to arrange that.